Recorded Books and RB Digital present Pacifica by Kristen Simmons. Narrated by Soneela Nankani. This program begins with an author's note, narrated by the author.
This story is personal, not just because the characters have lived so long in my mind, but because their world is rooted in my history. Their adventures are framed by my interpretation of the stories passed down to me through the generations. In that way, Pacifica does not begin with an exiled pirate girl, a relocated shoreling, and the son of the president, but with my great-grandmother. This is a story that begins in World War II, and like Marin, Ross, and Adam's story, it's about relocation, only then it was called internment. Its start is marked on December 7, 1941, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, killing over 2,000 Americans. During that time, 160,000 people in Hawaii were Japanese, either born in Japan, Issei, or the first generation born in the United States, Nisei, and made up 37% of the population. They worked for the sugar and pineapple industries, or as fishermen, in the lumber yards, or in restaurants or schools. Most lived a blended culture, Japanese and American drawn into one. Despite this, racial tension had existed for some time. Exclusion acts had been passed down since the 1800s, attempting to stop the influx of Asian immigrants. And when World War II began, racial prejudice combined with the hysteria of war to create a dangerous situation. A few months after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, in February 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, declaring military zones in the United States where certain people could be excluded based on their perceived threat to security. These zones included much of the West Coast, California, Oregon, and Washington. It called for the forced removal and imprisonment of all persons of Japanese ancestry, both alien and non-alien, including both Japanese nationals and their children. Information on where Japanese could be found was given to the military by the U.S. Census Bureau, something that could not be proven for almost 60 years. Those not interned fled, or were forced to observe curfews. Many lost their jobs and were called yellow Japs or bananas, yellow on the outside, white on the inside, by those they'd considered friends. The executive order came after hundreds of Issei community leaders had already been incarcerated in Hawaii, my great-grandmother included. Haru Tanaka had raised her American-born children in Hawaii, and was there on the Sunday morning when Pearl Harbor was bombed. She watched the planes painted with the rising sun fly overhead, thinking they were part of the American military's training exercises. It was not until one...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?